ABC. It's Dave here. Thought I'd get on here and add to Randy Weaver's tag that he has on albums that start with this time the letter J and K. Randy said he couldn't find enough for just the letter J, so he added the letter K too. So yeah, and I didn't either. I mean, I had a few, but actually what I did was I added a few CDs to this because I didn't have enough, vinyl. Back in when I switched over to CDs, I kind of started just buying CDs and never went back to buying vinyl unless I could find it, really cheap. And this first one is actually one that I found really inexpensive. This is James Taylor's JT album, right there. And actually, I found this thing for $1 at Half Price Books here in town, or either it'd have to be here or Dallas. Actually, they came out of Dallas, is where their home office is, but and they have several outlets there. But this is I don't know, this came out in the 80s, is that right, or 90s? 1977. But it's a real good James Taylor album. And he's had several good ones. I mean, like if you like, Sweet Baby James or Mudslide Slim, this is just as good as that one. It's got Your Smiling Face on here, which is a cover, and I don't remember who did that song a long time ago. Let's see if it says on here. No, maybe he did it. It says James Taylor, so I guess it's his own original, but it sure sounds like it's a cover. It sounds that familiar, I'll put it that way. And let's see. That'd be about it. I think he's credited with writing most of these, or co-written. So anyway, this is James Taylor's JT album. This is Cooter's jazz album. And when he first, I think back in the day, this came out in the 80s, I think. Yeah, but anyway, Rolling Stone didn't really like it, and I believe it said this isn't jazz, but I mean, like a lot of Cooter's albums, it has some jazz in here or on it, and there's some various other styles too. There's some 2 or 3 gospel songs on here, and there's a real interesting instrumental called The Pearl in Tijuana that is all done by Cooter and was adapted by Cooter from a Jelly Roll Morton song. And there's a couple of songs on here by an early 20s jazz musician called Bix Beiderbecke or Beiderbecke. I'm not sure which, but I've heard both. Anyway, Bix Beiderbecke was a musician back in I think around the 20s that wrote a lot of jazz. He was he played cornet and piano, I believe. But it's kind of early sounding jazz. It kind of reminds me of stuff, that you might hear in, those Laurel and Hardy shorts, something like that. But of course, it's updated, the way he does it on here. But there's a song Nobody by Burt Williams, which is the old song Nobody Knows What Trouble I've Seen, or something like that. And it's a real good rendition of it. But yeah, real interesting jazz, or a real interesting album by Cooter, another good one. And I think you can hear most of this on YouTube if you're curious. This is Frank Zappa, Joe's Garage, Volume 1. And then we have volume 2 as well. I really enjoyed these when they first came out. They're sort of a conceptual album about what if in the future, the government made music illegal, and just talks about this guy working in a kind of a low-paying job at a gas station. And there's various kind of humor songs on here. Comes with a little lyric sheet in the middle of it, like this, real colorful. You can read the lyrics. A lot of songs are pretty humorous, and there's also a couple of instrumentals on here as well that are really good, like this is a 2-record set here. The second part is 2 and 3, and the instrumental is Watermelon and Easter Hay, and it's a real good one, but yeah, pretty fun albums, pretty funny songs with some of the lyrics. And again, 2 and 3 comes with different type inserts and a lyric sheet. Stuff like that. But yeah, pretty fun Zappa albums. That's all the ones I could find with Jay as far as vinyl. You got Eric Clapton's Journeyman. This one has the song Pretending and Bad Love that I remember on the radio at times. I think there's a song Hound Dog, which I think is the same one that Elvis Presley made famous, which is probably some blues artist, probably was the one that originally wrote it. Let's see if it says in here. Yeah, it doesn't say. Anyway, Eric Clapton, Journeyman. Ozric Tentacles, Jurassic Shift. Jurassic Tentacles are a kind of a space rock, jam band, progressive, fusion-y band, sort of like that. Kind of like a Hawkwind that jam on their songs or whatnot. Kind of hard to describe. And you can probably find some of their music, I'm sure, on YouTube as well. But a British band, and they have a lot of different albums. I think last count, I counted over 20 albums. And I think this one came out in the 1993 Jurassic Shift. And it seemed like if you go on one of those music forums, everybody has a different favorite Ozric Tentacles, if they like them. But this is, good representation of their music. This is Glasshammer's Journey of the Dunedin, which is again a little bit of another concept album that it's taking its theme from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. And from what I understand, this isn't a super great album because it's their first album. But from what I've read online, their other albums, like Chroma Tree, I think is one. I can't think of all of them. But have gotten better and better over time. And for me, I'm kind of a Lord of the Rings fan, so I'll pick this up. And I got it rather inexpensively. But the Dunedin is part of, has something to do with Aragorn. When I read Lord of the Rings, I don't remember any mention of that, but Evidently it is, but anyway, there's songs on here like The Prancing Pony. Now, I do remember that from the first book. You know, it was like an inn that they stopped in, as I remember. There's one called Rivendell on here, and just various songs about that Lord of the Rings. And it's pretty interesting. You know, there's like organ and, you know, guitars and stuff like that on here. I believe this band was out of Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. But, and there's some vocals too. There's a female vocalist, and there's some electric violin and some synthesizers and stuff like that on it as well. So, yeah, fairly interesting album. That's Glass Hammer, Journey of the Dunedain. Steve Winwood's Junction 7. Of course, he came out of Traffic, and he's had a lot of different albums. This is from the, 1997. And I found it as a cutout in one of these CD stores, CD exchange stores, or someplace like Half Price, fairly inexpensively. I was real curious what it sounded like, and actually it's not too bad. It falls in line with everything else that he's done once he went to a solo artist. You know, you've got good songs, you know, strong vocals, good arranging on the songs. So, you know, if you like some of Steve Winwood's earlier solo albums, it's more of the same, I guess you could say. On to K. This is Kaya. This is the first Bob Marley album I bought. And reminds me of going to Jamaica. When I was living with my brother, we both kind of got into Bob Marley all at the same time, decided to go to Jamaica. It was really kind of a crazy trip in a lot of ways, but it was a really fun trip, and it's a nice place to relax at. There's not a lot to do there other than just hang out on the beach or whatever. But yeah, really great little album. You know, all of it is really good. So yeah, Bob Marley reggae album. Kenny Loggins, Keep the Fire is the name of it. Again, real good vocalist, good arranging. A lot of people, I think, dismiss Kenny Loggins. And maybe it's because of the kind of, you know, the soundtrack songs that he's had in this past. But his songs, to me, are really engaging. They're arranged well. He's a really good musician as far as, you know, playing guitar and all that. Started out in the band Loggins in Messina. But, yeah. You know, I have several of his albums and, you know, still really enjoying. Steely Dan, Katie Lied. I think this is their third or fourth album. And as good as, you know, any of their earlier albums, I'll put it that way. I kind of tend to like some of their later ones a little bit better. But Katie Lied, this has the song Black Friday on it, which I seem to remember hearing on FM radio. Let's see. That may be it. It's got several session musicians on here along with them, though. And, you know, tight song arrangements, good vocals, that type thing. So anyway, those are 10 or more albums that titles start with the letters J and K. Hope you are enjoying your summer. It's really hot down here now. think it got up to 100 plus down here today, and they expect that it's going to be that way for the rest of this month, or the rest of, for another week or so, which I'm not looking forward to. But that's how summers are here. Anyhow, hope you're enjoying listening to music and enjoying your summer. We'll talk to you later.